Okay, in this video we're going to give you some straight up facts of how to manage your training and your nutrition when you're in a cutting phase versus a gaining phase. You see, you would think it would be the exact same, but there are tools needed in order to manage the hunger and there are tools needed in order to manage the fatigue. High hunger, high fatigue is the main reason you will not be able to execute your diet phase and achieve the cut that you desire to and get to the lean levels of body fat. You'll just burn out too much, fatigue will be too high, and ultimately appetite will get to a point it's just unbearable and you're unable to stick to things. So let's roll straight in, and these are the tactics I use with our members within the Gorilla Platoon to get the results we do. Fatigue, we've got to manage that, especially towards the back end. So we'll start off with nutrition. When we set up your dieting phase, you want to first look at when are you most hungry in the day. Is it the morning? Is it the PM, or is it like late into the evening? Because you're then going to structure your meals around that. You're going to push your meals further back if that's the case. So let's say you are a snacker in the evening, then what you're going to need to do is push your food back as far into the day as you possibly can. Likewise, you might be someone that gets in bed really early, and actually you need most of your energy early in the morning. That's okay as well. You'll hear me say fast for most of the day. You might be one of these people where actually you need the energy in the morning. That's okay. Just whatever structure's better for you and your lifestyle. Now, the next thing we want to do is be smart in the foods that we use. So fiber is going to be one of your best friends when it comes to the dieting phase. So straight away when we set up your carb options, we've got rice, or we could use white potato. Rice is going to run straight through you nice and quick. So is cream of rice, so is any form of cereals. These are all high GI. Great for gaining phase, great for bulking, but awful when it comes to in a diet phase because it's going to run through you really quick. So instead of rice, you can use sweet potato or white potato. Going to add a lot more volume, going to be a lot more firmer to chew from. Instead of cream of rice or cereal, you've got oatmeal that you can run with. Again, much more stodgy, will really pack out the meal plan. Instead of protein powders, you can use egg whites. Instead of having bananas, we can go to berries. You see where we're going with this? We want to add as much volume as humanly possible to the diet. When it comes to the vegetables, I mean, vegetables in general are all going to be pretty fibrous, but like go and get like 100 grams of pure cucumber. Look how much volume you're now added to your meal plan. So be smart with the way you're feeding. If your plate looks small, then what could we do to be getting it to look bigger? And it's not that the calories are any different, it's just the overall volume of food is different. Therefore, the size is bigger, makes you feel like you're eating more, and it's filling you out a lot more as well. Here's a tip for you as well. When you're eating your meals and you're in a diet phase, chew your food slowly and do not go on your phone. Sit there with the meal, be present, try to make it last as long as humanely possible to finish the meal. Do not wolf it down. I know you want to, do not wolf it down. Hydrate well after it, and then maybe even go for a walk if you need to, just to get it to sit nicely, but more than likely it'll sit very well because you'll be very hungry. When it comes to fiber, a good rule of thumb is 14 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories. So typically speaking, your diet is going to need to be about 30, roughly, for those of you that are in a cutting phase. Maybe even like 40, 45 if you're in the higher tier of that cutting phase. Water, make sure your water intake is on point. So for this, 60 mils per kilogram of body weight. So I'm coming in at 78 as of now. I need to be drinking 4.6 litres of water per day. And this is going to allow you to just keep fuller. Like a lot of the times it's like, are you really hungry or are you just dehydrated? So that's what you're going to need to look at. Now, of course, we want to keep stress as low as possible. So with this, make sure your sleep is in good order. I cannot stress this enough. Like, we can work on your appetite, we can work on your recovery, we can work on your training style. The best means you're going to lower fatigue is through sleep. I cannot stress this enough. Like, you want to get lean, sleep. Sleep like an absolute baby. That is the weapon of choice in order to get good quality results. I know some of you work nights. I know some of you have got newborn children. The more you can sleep, the better it will serve you. Like, people say, oh yeah, sleep. And it kind of sounds like, yeah, we should sleep more. Honestly, it is night and day difference. For those that sleep very well, you will see results much quicker. Because say you don't sleep well for 2 nights on the bounce, cortisol is going to be higher. Therefore, water weight and retention is going to be up. Therefore, scale weight data is going to be skewed, and also visuals could also be skewed. Almost like when a female is on her cycle, she holds more water. When the cycle finishes, massive drop off occurs. That's kind of like what it's like, where you've accrued a lot of inflammation and stress and cortisol. Holds water. Once you level that out with good solid sleep, you'll see a big reduction in the scale weight. But we don't want inconsistencies in the scale weight, because you'll start to lose your head. By the way, make sure you're tracking the data daily, but looking at the averages weekly. That's what you're measuring your progress off. Now, we've spoke about how to manage the training, the food. How we're going to manage the training now. So volume is not really a friend when it comes to a cutting phase, because volume burns a lot of calories, and it also will burn through a lot of your glycogen. Intensity is what's going to keep the muscle on your bones. Lifting a certain weight, let's say you worked up to, in your off season, you managed to dumbbell press 50 kilograms on your chest press. Being able to do that 50 kilograms for one set means the muscle has a reason to stick around on your bones. However, you burning through really high reps and bringing the load down, the muscle doesn't have a reason to stay on your bones at that level. It'll come down to whatever it's capable of doing for 44 kilograms, 42 kilograms. So don't be quick to add volume, but do make sure you've got intensity. And with that, you might want to up frequency. So let's say you normally run quite a long session, but let's be honest, the last 3 exercises, pretty guff. You're not effective, you're not driving good quality stimulus. Honestly, it'd just be better to bank all of that across the week and then stick that onto a last session of the week, right at the end. So you end up training 6 days instead of 5, but the quality is better. Sure, it eats into a rest day, but the quality is better overall. So that's what I would recommend with that. Do use deloads. So deloads are kind of these things we know about, but we kind of don't really use them because they sound kind of gay, but you should use deloads. Listen to your body on this. You'll know when you need a deload. There's 3 questions you can ask yourself. Am I progressing? Yes or no? If the answer is no, think about that. Am I enjoying training? Have I got the urge to train? Yes or no? And am I like fried and not really recovering from sessions, ready to get back to the next one? If the answer is no for all 3, then realistically you need to run a deload. A deload for me is you will keep intensity but drop about 30% of your overall weekly volume off. Run this for a week and you'll find it'll drop a good amount of fatigue, wash off any fatigue. What you can also do towards the very, very end of the cutting phase is to just run your sets especially for your compound stuff, run it as a top set of 6 to 10, high intensity, drop the load then by 20% and run a back off set. And just doing this across all compounds. For isolation, you can go a little bit more because the muscle is smaller, therefore globally it doesn't add that much fatigue versus something like a compound. One on your compound movements. So let's say in the off season you were running with barbell bent over RDLs, you were running with barbell back squat. What I'd swap those 2 movements out with is something that's not going to burn as many calories just to perform the movement. So if we looked at that, we could do a chest supported row, which isn't going to burn as many calories or cause global fatigue as the barbell bent over row is. Likewise, we could swap a back squat for a leg press or a hack squat, or even a Smith machine back squat would burn less calories because of the stability it brings versus this freestanding barbell back squat. So look at changing certain movements around to wash off really and not accrued as much fatigue. The last thing I'll say is with your cardio. Now, cardio is an absolute weapon that's needed for fat loss. You've got 2 versions to look at this when it comes to output especially. You've got your NEAT, non-activity exercise thermogenesis. This is going to be your steps. This is great. For driving fat loss, this is unmatched because it's such low cost of fatigue. You can just burn. The problem is, you as an individual, as you start at 90 kilograms and get closer to 80 in your fat loss phase, you burn less calories. You're unless you can put a weighted vest on to keep the output there, you're going to burn less. So you're going to need to use formal cardio. With this, be smart in the cardio you do. You got HIIT or you got LISS. I wouldn't really be doing HIIT. Although it's great, it burns calories, sure. Mentally, to get yourself ready for a HIIT session, it's like going and doing a gym session. It does spike a lot of fatigue. You are carrying a lot of fatigue when you do this. It's great for time. If you're short on time, amazing. However, if you don't really want to accrue as much fatigue, I wouldn't be doing it. I personally don't do it. I'll run LISS cardio, so low intensity, steady state, heart rate 120 to 130, and I'll be doing it on machines that are non-impact. So I personally like the cross trainer, or I'll do an incline walk. Today, actually, I did a high bout of cardio where I got the load up to around about 100, so 1 hour and 30 minutes. and just switched it between 45 minutes of incline treadmill walk and 45 minutes of cross trainer. So honestly, in order to get you to the end of the dieting phase, there are a few tips that you'll apply in order not to accrue as much fatigue. Your best weapon for dropping fatigue is high sleep, or you will then run deload weeks in the gym. You can run refeeds, but refeeds, bear in mind, they are good, but they're only an acute change in terms of like replenishment. It's not really going to be a long-term fix. It will just allow you to look fuller, and as I say, it's a very short-term quick fix. Good for seeing how you're going to look full, absolutely. I do rate high days 100%, but don't look at it as a tool to that you're going to use all the time. That's more to see how you look full rather than to be dropping fatigue. So the message from this video: watch your fatigue levels, sleep like a baby, try those foods that we spoke about to make you feel fuller, and then think of the training intensity over volume in order not to accrue too much fatigue as well. Found this video value, great, subscribe to the channel, we'll be delivering more, and if you want to come join us in the Gorilla Platoon, there'll be a link underneath. See you tomorrow.